You know, you had William for 2 years and we had Sage 21 and they were both short.
Right.
You know, like Brad has asked me, you know, if you knew what you knew now, would you still want to have Sage? And I said, absolutely.
Right.
Hard as his life was and the outcome that came from it, he just gave us and this family so much joy. He's part of us.
I would say the same thing. Walking through the grief of losing a child, there's your life before losing Sage, and there's your life after.
And I hate to say this, but it's better.
Right. Oh gosh,
I'm
absolutely.
a much better mom. I'm a much better wife. I'm a much better friend because of Sage.
Read in the Bible about the suffering and the joy that can come in the suffering. And I'm grateful that I have those valleys that I'm like, yes, amen to that. There's so much I don't think that depth of the Lord I could experience having not been through what I've been through. There's still those hard days. I let it sink in of like, I lost a child and it just kind of, you can spy. I don't know if you do this. Like the sadness can come in and then I almost spiral down into like, is this really my life? This grief forever?
My eyes wake up in the morning. There's like maybe a second where like you breathe, but then it's like, oh, it's there. My friend's there again. Like, okay, we'll start our day together. But I think it's okay that you do have those bad days. And I think it's okay that you're mad. That's what we're,
right.
And my relationship with Jesus is so different now. Like, I'll just sit there and talk to him.
Right.
Like, I'm like, gosh, he's so good. Like, he's so kind. He has, through this tragedy, he has blessed me. And I am so grateful. We met through a mutual friend of ours and told me about what you do, a little bit about your nonprofit. And I was like, oh, that's great. But I was just looking at you and I'm like, I want to be her friend. It was just this really, really deep connection. And then you told me that you lost a son. And I was like, that's it. Mm-hmm. And so I came and volunteered at Faithfully Restored. Introduce us to Faithfully Restored.
Before I lost William, our friend Heather got diagnosed with breast cancer. Also, as we were all having kids, my best friend Jamie was struggling with infertility. They found out they couldn't have biological children. The way we chose to love on our group of friends, we were like, let's write these notes, let's encourage them, let them know they're not alone. And I knew what reading a note from someone and hearing that you're not alone, those things mattered. Those note cards mattered. Those words, those on a random Tuesday to get a text from someone that says, I'm still praying for you, that mattered. And so I felt it.
Because people disappear.
Right.
Like, especially a year after 2 years, 8 years, you
know,
it changes. Your friend group changes.
Right.
The notes stop.
Right. I remember the day that I went and there were no more cards in the mailbox. And I just thought, oh, this still feels really hard for me. And now I'm feeling more and more alone. So when Heather, Jamie, and I decided, we're going to get together once a month and we're going to write notes and send care packages to all these women that we're hearing about. And we're going to pray for these women by name and just send them something, because that's how we were loved on. And we knew that's what we knew to do, honestly. And so we did that, and that went for a couple months, and there was no shortage of women's names that we had. In early 2019, we're like, well, let's start a nonprofit.